Hey everyone, this is Nikita from Parcel Tracker, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to set up the multi-mailroom workflow for university campuses. This feature is built for institutions where parcels move through multiple buildings or departments before reaching the final recipient. In many bigger universities, couriers first deliver everything to a main mailroom. And from there, internal couriers may need to distribute parcels to residence halls, different campus buildings, student collection points, or even staff or faculty buildings. Due to the high volume nature of deliveries at universities and with so many internal touchpoints, it can become difficult to maintain a clear chain of custody and ensure that students and staff receive accurate updates. Parcel Tracker aims to streamline the intake process while maintaining visibility and accountability through every step. Parcel Tracker works with universities like the University of York and Christ Church College, and you can check out their case studies in the description below. By the end of this tutorial, your parcel management operations should look a little bit something like this. Parcel arrives to the reception. Right now I'm scanning in parcels with my camera using the Parcel Tracker mobile app. Parcel Tracker automatically picks up the name so I don't have to manually enter data. I can do this for multiple parcels in a row. Once I've scanned everything in, I select Check-in, and this will automatically notify recipients that their parcels have arrived. Now, I want to move parcels from the main mailroom to the main faculty building. I am now on the Move tab, and I have marked the parcels that have been picked up by my internal courier. When the courier arrives to the new site, he can mark them as dropped off, and that will show those parcels in the new site, or in this case, the main faculty building. At Site 2, or the main faculty building, the recipient will present me their unique QR code. I scan it using the Parcel Tracker app, then scan the parcels that they're going to collect. When that's done, I select Checkout, and the parcels are now marked as collected. First, you want to make a Parcel Tracker account. For universities to use the multi-mailroom feature, you must first have the Pro plan, but don't worry because once you sign up, you'll have a 14-day free trial of the Pro plan. So to sign up, all you have to do is go to parceltracker.com and select Start for Free to create your free account. This is what the dashboard would look like when you first sign in. First, I want to show you guys how to customize your account. To do that, let's go to Settings. From here, I can edit my company name. I can add a logo by selecting Upload Logo. I can even enter my address if needed. And when I'm happy with that, all I have to do is select Save Changes. Next, I want to enable some features that will help me later on. To do that, let's go to Features. If you have an internal courier who can deliver parcels from the main mailroom directly to the recipient, then you want to enable Batch Parcel Collection. This enables your internal courier to mark parcels as collected and sign them out from Parcel Tracker. I also want to enable additional parcel details. This feature allows us to add a digital tag, assign a parcel a storage location, and even get a wider photo of the parcel upon scan-in so we know what it looks like later on. This feature can help mailroom staff and receptionists stay organized even when more parcels arrive throughout the day or the next coming days. Once that's done, I can finally configure my account. Since we're using the multi-mailroom workflow, I first want to set up my sites. So to do that, let's go back to our dashboard and select Sites in the sidebar. From this tab, you want to list down all touchpoints within the university. So this can be the main mailroom, a receiving center, or specific buildings within the campus. To add a site, select Add Site, and then enter the site name and any of these optional details. You can also edit site details, so for this example, let's edit placeholder, which is our default site. Next, I want to upload my recipients, so to do that, let's go to Recipients. From here, you can bulk upload recipients using a CSV list, or you can add them in individually. The reason why we want to upload a recipient list first instead of later on is because Parcel Tracker uses this data to match parcels to the correct recipient and notify them at the same time. Without a recipient list, Parcel Tracker will not be able to match parcels, and staff may need to put parcels on hold to process them properly. This could slow down the entire intake process and create more problems later on. First, I'm going to show you guys how to bulk upload recipients. To do that, let's go to Import List. And from here, you can actually download a template which you can fill in, or you can select the file from your device. This is what that template looks like. For a normal Parcel Tracker account, you'll typically only need the recipient's first name, their last name, their email. This is for notifications. The reason why we need the recipient's email is because Parcel Tracker uses this as the primary notification platform. And finally, their location. But since we're setting up a multi-mailroom account, we want to make sure that we have the site. So for each recipient, this will be the site that they're going to receive the parcel in. So let's say that for a student, it will be the residence hall. And for staff members, it could be the faculty building. We also want to have additional sites enabled. So for this use case, it would be the main touchpoint, or in this case, the main mailroom. Here's my sample recipient list. You'll see that I have a mix of students and staff with their respective sites, and as well as the main mailroom as an additional site. So when your recipient list is ready, all you have to do is select Browse File. Select the file from your device. Tick this box that says you have permission to upload the data. Click Continue, and make sure that each column is mapped out to the correct Parcel Tracker property. And I want to show you guys an example of an error during this step. In this example, unit, which I used to define room numbers, was not recognized as a location. So all I had to do was select the correct property, and in this case, it would be location. When you're done, click Continue. Review the data. You can even edit from here. And continue. And finally, confirm and upload the data. Parcel Tracker will show you if there were any errors during the process, if there were any duplicate recipients, or if recipient data was updated from an old CSV list. Now let's select View All Recipients. We also have an Active Directories integration, so you can sync your staff and student data with your university directory. Since ID and alias are empty, we can hide those. Select the hamburger icon and click Hide. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to upload recipients individually. Let's say that you have a new staff member and you want to onboard them onto the Parcel Tracker system so they can start receiving parcels at the university. Select Add Recipient and enter the necessary details. And then select Add and Create Another to add a new recipient, or Add to close the window. Next, I want to set up my scanning devices, so this can be a phone or a tablet. Apple or Android both work. For best performance, we recommend at least an iPhone SE or an Android with 6 GB of RAM and a 2.8 GHz processor. You can have this on a designated building device, or you can have staff download the app onto their personal phones. And if that's the case, you want to add them in as Mailroom User so they can access your account. Select Invite User and enter the necessary details. From here, you can select their permission levels, so if you just want them to be able to scan in and scan out parcels and maybe add recipients, then invite them as normal. But if you want them to be able to toggle certain features or edit site details, then add them as admin. You can also select their site access, so if they're a Mailroom Operations Manager, then they can have access to all of the sites. But if, let's say, this person is a receptionist who will only be scanning in and scanning out parcels for a certain building, then make sure they have access only to that building to reduce confusion. When you're done, select Send. And then that user will have received an invite to become a Mailroom User on your account. Next, I want to configure my tags. To do that, go to Tags, and you'll see that Parcel Tracker already has some default tags. So as mentioned when we were talking about additional parcel details in the Features tab, you'll be able to add tags upon parcel scan-in. You can use more general tags like fragile or high-value item, or you can also use routing tags like specific departments or buildings. You can add as many tags as you want. Select Add Tag and enter the name, and you can even select the color so that it's easier to see. Once that's done, you can configure your notifications. So let's go back to our dashboard and select Notifications. Delivery and collection notifications are on by default. A delivery notification is what the recipient would first receive when the parcel is scanned in by the university, and a collection notification is basically confirmation that the recipient has received the parcel. Reminder notifications can be set if recipients leave their parcels uncollected for too long, and a sign-up notification is basically the same as collection, but it notifies a recipient that they've been successfully added to the Parcel Tracker account. You can edit and toggle each type of notification for each site. To edit a notification, select Actions, and Edit. As mentioned prior, when parcels are matched to a recipient, Parcel Tracker will automatically notify that recipient. The resident will receive this QR code, which they can present to the receptionist to collect their parcel. You can change the delivery message. All you have to do is enter the new message. You can also choose to address the recipient by first name or last name. You can even enable advanced parcel details. This will show notes, courier information, and when the parcel arrived. When you're happy with the changes, select Submit, and the template will have been updated. Now let's say I want to enable reminders. Select this little plus icon in the corner. Select the default template. And same thing as earlier, you can select Actions and Edit to edit the reminder message. You can also set a reminder delay or set a maximum number of reminders. When you're happy, select Submit. And you'll now have reminders enabled. Now, let's say that you don't want to do this for all sites that you have. All you have to do is select Actions and Assign All to add this template to all the sites. When this is done, I can finally set up my storage location. So to do that, let's go back to Settings and select Storage Locations. Storage locations can look different across different buildings. But with this feature, you can really narrow it down to each shelf, each aisle, each cage, or even each locker to make sure that parcels are easier to find once the recipient is ready to collect. I already added storage locations for the main mailroom, but let's try going to another site. To add a new location, select Add Location, and you can click Save and add another to add a new one, or click Save to close the window. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to check in, check out, and move parcels between different sites using the mobile app. So here on the left, you'll see my personal phone screen, and on the right, you'll see some sample labels that we'll try scanning later on. I first want to show you guys where you can find Parcel Tracker on the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. Whichever one you're on, click Search, look for Parcel Tracker, select Parcel Tracker-Mailroom. Once you've downloaded the app, sign in with your login details and you'll be able to start scanning. This is what the app looks like. You'll see 5 tabs. The first one is In, which is what you'll use to check in parcels, Out to check out parcels, Move to move parcels between 2 different sites, Manage to manage parcels, recipients, and users, and finally Settings to access our live chat support, our online knowledge base, configure features, and select your scanning mode. So let's try scanning in some parcels. When parcels arrive to the main mailroom, all I have to do is select Scan Parcels, hold the camera over the label, and press and hold the button to pick up the name, and do it again to pick up the barcode. And since we enabled the additional parcel details feature in the beginning, you'll be able to add a photo, select the tags that we created earlier, and if you scroll down, you can even select the storage location. Click Submit, and you can do this for multiple parcels in a row. So let's have our second parcel here. And finally, our last parcel. Once you've scanned in all the parcels, click Next. It'll show you a preview of all the parcels you've scanned, and when you're done, select Check In. So before I show you how to check out parcels, I first want to show you how you can move them between different sites. So in a university, you might have internal courier. All they have to do is go to the Move tab, select Pickup, select the site that you're picking up from, and from here they can either scan the labels of the parcels that they're going to pick up, or they can select them from this parcel icon on the top bar, When they've selected all the parcels, select Confirm. Next. And Pick Up. When the courier has arrived at the faculty building, they can select Drop Off. Again, they can either scan the parcel labels or they can select them. So for Isaac's parcels, let's say that we're just gonna drop them off so he can collect them at a later time. Select his parcels, Confirm. Next, and then select Drop Off and the correct site. Now let's go to the faculty building. We're currently at the main mailroom, so go to Settings, My Account, and select Change Site. And when we go to the End tab, you'll see that we have 2 parcels checked in, and these are Isaac's parcels. So let's go back to the main mailroom real quick. Let's say that our courier can deliver Albert Einstein's parcels directly to him. Again, go to the Move tab, select Drop Off, and you can scan that parcel or select it from the top bar. Next. And instead of Drop Off, you're going to want to press Collect. And you can get their signature to confirm delivery and mark it as collected. Another way for couriers to sign out parcels is through the batch scan-out feature, which we enabled earlier. Let's say that from the main mailroom, the courier has 2 parcels that they can deliver directly to the recipient without making any other stops to other buildings or departments. Select Out, Batch Checkout, and again, you can either select the parcels from the top bar, or you can scan the parcel labels. That's my first parcel, and again, I can do this for multiple parcels in a row. So let's go get the other one. Select Next, Check Out, and once again, you can get the recipient's signature to confirm delivery. So now let's go back to the faculty building where we had Isaac's parcels. Change site, and main faculty building. Now let's say that Isaac is ready to collect his parcels. His parcels were actually directed to my email, so you'll see here that I actually got the notification for it with my secure QR code. All Isaac has to do is present this QR code at the faculty building's reception to collect his parcels. So when the recipient is ready to collect, the receptionist of the main faculty building will have to go to the Out tab, select Recipient Check Out, and scan the QR code first, and then scan their parcel barcodes. Again, you can do this for multiple parcels in a row. Once all the parcels have been selected, click Next, and then Check Out. And from here, you can either just press Checkout or switch to Recipient Signature, and then Check Out. You can also check out parcels from the Parcels tab. So from your dashboard, go to Parcels, and select the correct parcel, and then click Checkout Parcel. You can add notes or get the recipient's signature to confirm delivery. I want to show you guys one more tab that I think you'll find really helpful, especially for universities that get such a high volume of parcels every day. Go to Statistics. From this tab, you'll find a summary of how many total parcels you've checked in and checked out, as well as useful information like your peak check-in times, peak checkout times, your top couriers, and your average parcel turnaround time. Since this is a new account, we don't have a lot of data here, but I'm going to show you real quick what it would look like once you've spent enough time with the software. Now I want to give you guys an example of how I would use these statistics to help me out in the mailroom. So let's say that my peak check-in times and peak checkout times are between the hours of 8 AM to 10 AM. I can use this information to allocate more resources such as extra helping hands, parcel trolleys to accommodate the intake of new parcels, or even perform a parcel audit around 7 AM to make sure that there's enough space in my mailroom for the new parcels. As for average parcel turnaround time, if I notice that recipients have been leaving their parcels uncollected for too long, I can choose to enable reminders or make them more frequent so that recipients pick up their parcels in a more timely manner. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Please let us know if you found this video helpful, which features you like best, or which features you'd like to see us add in the future. See you next time.